We all know that feeling, that quiet storm inside your mind when you're overthinking, uncertain, and stuck. You keep replaying scenarios, imagining what could go wrong, convincing yourself that you're not ready yet. You tell yourself you just need a little more time, a little more clarity, a little more confidence. But here's the truth. You won't think your way into confidence, you'll act your way into it. Because inaction breeds anxiety. Action breeds clarity, strength, and confidence. Today, let's talk about one of the most powerful principles for growth. Movement dissolves fear. Stillness feeds it. When you do nothing, your mind fills the silence with fear. It starts imagining all the worst outcomes. What if you fail? What if you look stupid? What if it all goes wrong? And because the mind hates uncertainty, it creates fake problems just to keep you safe. But that safety is an illusion. Every time you hesitate, your brain learns a dangerous lesson that avoidance is the answer. And the more you avoid, the harder it becomes to move forward next time. You build what I call a loop of hesitation. You feel uncertain, you wait. Waiting increases anxiety. Anxiety reduces confidence. Less confidence makes you wait even more. That's the trap. And the only way out is through action. When you act, even in a small way, your physiology changes. Your body releases dopamine, the molecule of progress. You start feeling momentum, energy, and focus. This isn't motivational talk, it's neuroscience. When you move, you interrupt the anxiety pattern in your brain. You switch from threat mode to engagement mode. You stop being a spectator of your thoughts and become a participant in your own life. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that once you start doing something, the fear disappears? The hardest part is never the work, it's the start. Once you begin, your brain says, "We're doing this now," and anxiety loses its grip. That's why one small step, one message sent, one workout started, one line written, is more powerful than hours of overthinking. Confidence isn't something you wait for, it's something you earn through repeated proof that you can handle life. Every time you act, even imperfectly, you send a message to yourself, "I can do this." And over time, those small actions build a foundation of trust in yourself. Confidence doesn't come from knowing everything will go right. It comes from knowing that even if it goes wrong, you'll handle it. That's real confidence, the quiet certainty that you'll adapt, figure it out, and keep moving forward. People who seem fearless aren't fearless. They just have more proof that they can survive discomfort, and that proof only comes from action. We often tell ourselves we'll act when we feel ready, when I have more time, when I feel more confident, when I know what to do. But readiness is a myth. It's a lie the mind tells to justify hesitation. Because the truth is, you'll never feel ready for what really matters. You'll never feel 100% certain before taking a big leap. And that's okay. You're not supposed to. Courage is acting before you feel ready. Readiness comes after you move, not before. It's like standing at the edge of cold water. You can analyze the temperature all day, but the only way to adapt is to jump in. You don't gain confidence, then act. You act, and confidence follows. Here's a simple model that changes everything. Fear creates inaction. Inaction increases anxiety. Anxiety feeds more fear. But if you flip the cycle, action creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence reduces fear. It's the same loop, but reversed. Every time you take action, you weaken fear's hold. Every time you delay, you strengthen it. That's why even small steps matter. You don't have to do everything. You just have to start something. When you feel stuck, your brain is overwhelmed by the size of the task. So shrink it. Don't think, "I have to change my whole life." Think, "What's one small action I can take in the next 5 minutes?" You can't control outcomes, but you can control effort. And when you take small, consistent steps, your brain gets used to movement, and fear loses its power. Examples. Instead of "I'll get in shape," say, "I'll do 10 push-ups right now." Instead of "I'll start my business," say, "I'll register the domain name today." Instead of "I'll write a book," say, "I'll write one paragraph." Every action, no matter how small, is a vote for the person you want to become, and those votes compound. Motivation is unreliable. If you wait to feel motivated before acting, you'll stay stuck. Action doesn't come from motivation. Motivation comes from action. It's the same as momentum. You can't steer a parked car. Start moving, even imperfectly, and motivation will follow you. Don't wait to feel like it. Move first, feel later. Fear isn't your enemy. It's simply energy, misplaced imagination. Fear is the price you pay for growth. If you feel fear, it means you're standing at the border of your comfort zone, and that's exactly where your life expands. So instead of asking, "How do I get rid of fear?" ask, "What is this fear trying to protect me from, and is it really danger or just discomfort?" Because most of the time it's not danger, it's just the unfamiliar. And once you take one small action, the unfamiliar becomes normal. That's how courage grows, not by removing fear, but by acting despite it. Let's make this practical. Confidence isn't a mystery, it's a formula. 1. Action, you start, you try, you make a move. 2. Feedback, you learn what works, what doesn't. Third adjustment, you improve, refine, adapt. 4. Repetition, you build mastery. That's it. No secrets, no tricks, just cycles of doing and learning. That's how every confident person was built. Think about public speaking. Most people are terrified the first time they do it. Their voice shakes, their hands sweat. But after doing it a few times, the same person becomes calm, confident, powerful. Did their personality change? Number, their experience changed. Or fitness, the first workout feels impossible. But once you keep showing up, the body adapts, the mind strengthens, and what once scared you becomes normal. That's the magic of repetition through action. Perfectionism is another disguise for fear. It makes you believe you need everything to be perfect before you start. But perfection is just a form of procrastination. Done is better than perfect, because done creates momentum, and momentum creates improvement. Every master was once a beginner who refused to quit. They acted, failed, learned, and acted again. You can't edit a blank page, you can't steer a ship that never leaves the shore, and you can't grow if you never move. Action isn't just a decision, it's a lifestyle. It's training your brain to default to doing instead of thinking about doing. Every time you act quickly on something small, you strengthen that identity. You become someone who moves, and the more you act, the easier it becomes. Fear never disappears completely, but your relationship with it changes. It stops being a wall and becomes a signal. This matters. Move toward it. People often say, "But I don't know what to do." Here's the truth. You rarely need to know the whole path. You just need to know the next step. Clarity comes from engagement, not from thought. The path reveals itself after you start walking. The best decisions of your life won't come from overthinking. They'll come from stepping forward and adjusting along the way. You'll have days when you freeze again, when you fall back into old habits of hesitation. That's okay, you're human. But every new moment is a new chance to act. The past doesn't define you, your next action does. The key is to shorten the gap between thought and movement. When you think of something that could move your life forward, count to 3 and start. The longer you wait, the louder fear becomes. The faster you move, the quieter it gets. Inaction creates anxiety. Action creates confidence. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to move. Because every step forward, no matter how small, changes your state, your chemistry, your story. You can't control everything, but you can always control one thing: movement. And movement is power. So if you feel stuck, uncertain, afraid, don't wait for confidence. Create it through action. Because the cure for fear is movement.